Continuing with this morning's Mussar for Toledot Yom Rishon. Bore koshi oref hayetzer hara. Come and see how stubborn our evil inclination is. Ki hizharnu Hashem itbarach al yedei neviyav v'chachamav v're'av. HaKadosh Baruch Hu always warns us and gives us rebuke through His prophets, His wise men, those who fear Him. Velo kibalnu divrehem, and we didn't accept and heed to the words of the Nevi'im and the Chachamim and those that fear Hashem. The same way like a person kasher yakabel adam tzavat rofeh al cholyo. Not like the same way a person accepts the demands or the remedy or the method to heal oneself from a doctor. Shimnau al davar. So like this. A doctor comes and says, you have such and such issue. You want to know the way to take care of it? Well, don't eat this and this and eat this and this, or take this medication, or don't take this, whatever it is. Person will be much easier, unfortunately. Look how wrong we are. Look how the Yetzer Hara has us so strong that we'll listen to that way before we'll listen to the Nevi'im. And he's going to make a comparison. Look at this strong comparison. Some people don't listen to the doctor.
Yeah.
Well, then Stam, they...
The Yetzer Hara don't listen to the doctor. That's what it is. Right. It's also the Yetzer Hara.
But listen to this. Halot tireh kama hefresh yesh benehem. Look at the difference. Look at the difference between the demands of a doctor or the advice of a doctor versus the advice of a Navi. Ki harofeh marpeh umazhir al guf shesofo afar rima v'toleah. What's a doctor coming and giving you good advice for? Only your body. Where's your body going to end up? Every single one of us. That Hashem will all live to 120 in good health and happiness. However, we're all going to end up at the same place. Whether it's here or in another country or in Eretz Yisrael, we're all going to the ground. Our bodies are all going to be in the same place. So he says, what's going to be? You're going to pay so much attention and listen to this physical doctor, the body doctor, which anyways your body is very timed. It's not going to be forever. Versus V'anavi ala neshama nish'eret. What's the Navi giving you advice for? He's the spiritual doctor. He's the soul doctor. He's there to tell you how your soul will be healthy and successful and prosper forevermore for eternity in a spiritual sense. V'im tizkeh tehene miziv hashchina la'ad u'netzach netzachim. And if a person has enough merit, person wakes up from the slumber, as Rabbeinu Yonah says, wake up from your sleep, and they wake up and do teshuvah and fulfill the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and listen to the spiritual doctors. Let's start with as much as we listen to the body doctors, and then hopefully supersede that. But listen to what the spiritual doctors say, what the Sfarim say, what the Mussar says, what Chachamim teach us, what the Talmud teaches us. Then a person will be able to appreciate HaKadosh Baruch Hu and His presence, le'ol me'ad ul netzach netzachim, as he says. V'alo yavin hanilvav la'anashim. Anyone who's somewhat wise and smart will understand, shechalfu ve'avru, ech kanu uba'u ve'amdu, v'chireu v'tziyeru v'higbiu betam, v'inchil Hashem artzam v'kinyanam ve'onam v'rechusham le'oivehem. How many people, wise, smart, powerful, amazing people, famous, and they worked hard even for it. And what happened with all of their wealth and all of their fame and all of their everything? It was given over when they pass on to someone else, and even more so, even their enemies. And therefore he's saying, what's the point to invest totally in this world? We're not saying to disregard this world completely. We've said it time and time again, that we are a combination of spiritual and materialism. There's no way where we can be only one. You can't only live spiritually and
we just talked about.
No. But they still enact a physicality. But the physicality will be done on your behalf by others. But a person has to eat. A person doesn't eat, they'll die. A person has to sleep, they'll collapse if not. How much do you need to eat? What do you need to eat? How much do you need to sleep? That's all up for discussion on how spiritual a person wants to be. But there has to be a combination. And therefore, if a person's going to completely invest in their material, let the materialistic aspect of life be their only combination, he says, what's it worth? Who's it going to go to? Where is it going to take a person? People collected food, or in our case, money, never had time to eat from it, or even benefit from it. Or people built homes, or built offices, and built things, and they had no moments to even live in it. And what is it? It's all coming from a desire to last more and more. And they were always thirsty and desiring things that they never even got to, but they were always going back to what we spoke about on Shabbat, always living in the future, always wanting, and never enjoying the moment. Bana Armon v'rasho b'shamayim. People who've built castles, who the top of the castle tower has reached all the way to the sky. Umkomo hamyuchad lo bithomot rabba v'hu kivro. Where's the person? He's all that. He's famous, he's rich, he's everything. He's wise. But where's he going to be? Where's his place going to be? Even a king, even those that have blue blood, everybody is buried in the ground.
We all leave this earth with the same amount of money.
Hayesh ba'olam shtut gadol mizeh לעשות דירת קבע בעולם שנוסע ממנו ולא ישוב אליו ויחיב עולם שהולך לעמוד שם עד עולמי עד. How stupid and ignorant is an individual if they were to invest in the temporary just in the temporary and completely forget about the permanent. Imagine a person whose sukkah on Sukkot is amazing, beautiful, but the poor guy, he doesn't even have a house to live in. Now, I'm not going up from the aspect of his belovedness for the mitzvot. Let's just take that. But I'm just saying, what type of an individual makes their tent, their hut, that they're going to use 7 days long, nicer and better than their house, which is breaking down? I'm taking away from the aspect of the fulfillment of the mitzvah, but I'm taking the investment. First of all, he's a tzaddik, but what about every Shabbos? Now speak in your language. Every Shabbos, and every Pesach, and every Yom Tiv. It doesn't make sense, right?
He does everything as much as good as
good. But again, the concept of investing something that's for 7 days and leaving the remainder of the 365 days out of account is a fool. An individual who makes money, whether it's a lot or a little, and gives everything to tzedakah, is a fool as well. Oh, he's doing it because he wants to fill mitzvah. It's a fool. You have to be smart. You have to calculate things in life.
Invest in the permanent.
Very good. Invest in the permanent and not in the temporary and the vanity. The vanity. Okay? Remind me when I finish this paragraph, I have one of the most amazing anecdotes that I've ever heard for this concept. I think we're all going to really, really enjoy it. So let's just finish. ואם מתוך אהבת הכבוד והשררה בזה תאבד העולם הבא, הלא תביט למלכים ולסגנים שעברו ועבדום וכיבדום גדולים, אין זיכרונן להם ולא לעובדיהם ולמכבדים ומגדלים אותם. If it's not wealth you're going after, if you're going after fame, how many kings, how many important people were they in this world and they were forgotten of? And even if they were remembered of, very often they remembered for the things that they didn't do or the bad things that they did. I'm reading a book, it's called a very interesting book. It's called how do I forget the name? I think it's called The Jews and the Presidents. Okay? And it's a short-handed book, and it's a quick synopsis of the lives of each of the presidents of the United States, as well as their relationship with the Jewish people. And the vast majority, even before we get into the relationship between them and the Jewish people, the vast majority of them has a lot of negativity to say about it. Now, this was not a pessimistic author. This was just a very factual. He did his proper research on what world history or American history has to say about the presidents. And most of them, not all, most of them definitely have a chip on their shoulder and are berated for what they have done or what they have not done. So even the famous ones, even the famous ones, How many of them were remembered? And even if they remembered, how many of them remembered for the good? So therefore, a person has to put into perspective, as the Mussar is telling us, what's it all worth? What's everything worth?
From 300, 600.
לעומת זה, right? להבדיל 1,000 הבדלות. הלא אין זיכרון עם אדם זולתי לטובים ונחמדים ולעובדי האל, המשובחים לטוב מעשיהם, או מגונים לרעים, בתכלית הרשע, לרוע מעשיהם, לקיים מה שנאמר, זכר צדיק לברכה. And that's exactly how the Mussar ends off, that the remembrance of a righteous man is always for the blessing. And that's what you say, Talmidei Chachamim, Baalei Chesed, people who devoted themselves to God, devoted themselves for the better cause of the Jewish people. Those are the ones who are remembered for the good. May Kadosh Baruch Hu bless us to be amongst those. I want to, before we move on to the halacha, I want to share with us a quick anecdote. This is an amazing anecdote. This is a famous anecdote that Rav Noach Weinberg, Zatzal, the founder and Rosh Yeshiva of Esha Torah, would use in his seminars to bring people closer to Judaism, as well as to strengthen those who are already close to be even more devoted. Again, it's an anecdote, so I'll say it as a story. The story is told of, I believe it was the king of France, who was told that there is a certain island, that the island, instead of there being sand, the island is full of diamonds. It's a great one. Full of diamonds. And that if you get a little bit involved and you dig and you find, there's massive gems worth zillions and zillions and zillions of dollars. So he had a mission. He took 2 of his most faithful servants, generals, however you want to call them, and he put them on a boat, and he told them, go to the destination. I want you to stay there for 12 months. 12 months, I'm going to send a ship to pick you up with everything you have collected to bring back here. And he said, more than that, half of what you collect will be yours. You can collect a etc. amount, in dollar amount of money, of diamonds. Half is yours, half goes to me, the king. 2 people. They go, they get on the boat, they get there, they see this island which they didn't even know existed from afar, and the island is glowing because it's surrounded by sand of diamonds, really diamonds. They get there, they can't believe their eyes. They get to shore, well equipped with many sacks, bags that the king gave them, and boom, they start traveling. Before they even get into the city, they start shoveling and filling and filling and filling. They collapse of exhaustion by the end of the day next to their bags of diamonds. They wake up the next morning in a startle, thinking, oh my gosh, someone must have taken our bags. To their surprise, they wake up and the bags are right there, right next to them, full just as they left them, sleeping on a bed of diamonds. They were like, let's plan this out. We've got 12 months. We've got a lot of ground to conquer. Let's do our due diligence. They take their bags, the first ones that they've put together, and they go find a cave and they hide it in the cave. The next day, this day continues. They're collecting and collecting and collecting. They start to get a little hungry. So they go into town and they say, listen, we've collected so much, let's take a little sack. I'm sure a little sack will buy us a feast. If not, we could even buy out the whole restaurant. They come, they bring the sack of diamonds. They go to the restaurant owner, bold, arrogant, throwing it on there. Give me everything on your menu. The owner of the restaurant shoves it back at them and says, this is worthless over here. Couldn't buy a thing. You couldn't even take a fork.
They're sound. They're dust.
So I was starving. Can you help me? Yeah. Get into the kitchen, start washing dishes. I'll give you lunch. They didn't have anything to do. They were starving. They go back to the kitchen. They start doing dishes. Lunchtime comes around. Finally, the first thing they eat in 2 days. They set out the next morning. They go back to the beach. They start collecting. And they say, this time we're not going to go to that restaurant, we'll go to a different restaurant. They bring a bigger bag. And again, the restaurant told them, this can't help you. They go to the hotel, this can't help you. They need new shoes, their shoes are getting ruined. They need something to eat, they need somewhere to sleep. They realize, whoa, we're not going to be able to survive the 12 months. So they realized what the currency was in that city, on that island, was seashells. Onions? That's the story? However, onions, seashells. I guess onions could make it more interesting if I added my own twist. So onions was the currency of the city, of the island. And slowly, two guys, wise guys, they were the generals in the king of France's army. They were no dummies. 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 2 months, they became the onion dealers of the city. They became the richest guys in the city. They owned the restaurant. Two Jews, right? They owned the restaurant. They owned the hotel. They owned Heinz, for argument's sake, the onion factory. All of a sudden, there's big news that comes to the town, and they hear a massive ship is coming their way. And everyone was interested. They all went to the port to go greet them.
Where's the knowledge?
They come, and everybody, including the two Frenchmen, and they see a flag of France on that ship, and they say, oh my gosh, 12 months has passed, and we were sent to collect diamonds and precious stones. What are we worth? The king himself comes down to see the two messengers that he sent, the job that they've made, and they invite him. They feed him. No, what do you guys have to show for yourself? I want to see sacks, I want to see crates of diamonds. Half is yours, half is mine. They say, my lord, let me show you what we've done for ourselves. We are the wealthiest two individuals on this island. And he opens up their vault, and it stinks like onions. It's full of onions. And to make a long story short, the king berates them, insults them. Imbeciles, waste of time. Do you have anything to show for yourselves? And they're thinking. Yeah. They each have 2 bags to show for themselves. From that first day that they got to that island, they went to that original cave, they took out those bags, and they gave it to the king. And the king laughed at them in their face and said, in 12 months, this is what you put together? And obviously, it's an anecdote, but it's a very true anecdote for us in this world. The diamonds is our spiritual well-being. It's our spiritual growth. But sometimes it's something we don't pay enough attention to. We're running after the onions. We're running after the money, the fame, the wealth. There needs to be a balance. And that balance has to be focused first on spirituality and then your physicality. And this ties into the Gemara we learned this morning, ties into the Mussar. And I will move on to the Halacha. It's an amazing anecdote. Use it. Please use it with your friends, with your families. It's a it's something that makes you really want to commit oneself to Torah even more. The Rambam today continues with the halachot of erasing Hashem's names. Again, not too practical, so we'll just go through it quickly. The Rambam says as follows: Kol hanitpal Hashem milefanav mutar lemachko. Any prefix of God's name is permitted to be erased. Kigon lamet b'mila Lashem. Lashem. The lamet could be erased because it's not Hashem's name. It's only a prefix to Hashem's name. Ubet for miba Elokim. The bet from the prefix of Elokim. V'chayotze behen, in any type similarity, enan kedushat Hashem. They don't have the sanctity of the name of God, where we said you're not allowed to erase the name of God. V'chol hanitpal Hashem acharav. But if it's a suffix, kigon chaf sofit from Elokecha or a mem from Elokechem, v'chayotze b'hem, enam nimchakim, you're not supposed to erase them. V'arehem kisharatiyot shel Shem mipnei she'Hashem mikadesham. Since they are a suffix, And since the word already has now Kiddusha, holiness, and it's being added on to the word from when it was already Kadosh, had sanctity to that word, therefore we don't erase them. So a prefix you're allowed to erase, a suffix you're not allowed to erase.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what Rambam said. You already said it. Ve'af al pi shenitkadshu ve'asu lemocham, even though the suffix is holy, and you're not allowed to erase them, hamochek elo atiyot hanitpalot eno loke. But it's not like one who gets malkut from the Sanhedrin, like if they would erase the name of God. However, aval makin oto makat mardut. They'd beat them just to shake them up, to wake them up, but they wouldn't have full out lashes like they would have in the Beit HaMikdash. Katav Aleph Lamed. If a person wrote Aleph and Lamed from the Shem Elokim, or a Yud and a Hey from a Shem Havaya, and no nimhak, you're not allowed to erase it. Why? Because Aleph and Lamed, or Yud and Hey in itself is a name of God. So if you wrote just the Aleph of Elokim and then you want to erase it, you could do that. But if you're even intending to write a longer name of Hashem, but you already wrote a full name of Hashem, even though it's half of the one that you intended on doing, you are not allowed to erase
Definitely.
it. Ve'en tzarich lomar Yud and K, Yud and a Hey, which is Hashem b'fnei atzmo, but one who writes a Shin and a Dalet, which has in mind to write Shakai, or a Tzadi and a Bet, who has in mind to write Tzivakot, harazen imchak, because the Shin and the Dalet, or the Tzadi and the Bet, is not one of God's names in and of itself. Gimel, Shar Kenuim, Shabchin Bahem, et HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Any other praise that we praise Hashem with, Kegon Hanun and Rachum and Gadol and Gibor and Nora and Ne'eman, Kana or Chazak v'chayotze bahen. Any of the praises that we refer to Hashem as, we are allowed to erase them like any other words of the Torah. It's only Hashem's name and not the way we sometimes refer to Him. Yeah?